Hi guys, this is week 50 Project Life, and as normal I am starting with my photos here, and I also have the new Life Crafted kit from Citrus Twist. Now this is a new kit for them, a new subscription kit, but you'll see it's almost identical to the Pocket Life kit that I'm used to working with. It just has a few extra goodies in there, so I'm not disappointed at all. These kits are fabulous, so you'll see as I go through. I knew I wanted to use that 4x6 polka dot card for my title card this week, and so I picked a couple of little 3x4 cards to go with it, and then I'm just trying to choose a paper for this bottom spot down here, and I do struggle a little bit to work out a color scheme, I guess, or to balance this layout, because I've got that super heavy black skyline photo down the bottom there. I found it really hard to balance it with the rest of the page, so I do go through several versions of this until I finally pick something. It was another one of those weeks where my photos aren't great, so I've changed, you can see the entire middle row of photos there, I changed to black and white just to try and tone down some of those extra colors that I had there, which again means I'm struggling to pick a color scheme. So again, I'm going to go through a lot of iterations of this. So I've swapped out one of those 3x4 cards already, and I've chosen a few different 4x6s down here, but in the end I decided to go with this really pretty blue pattern. The reason I was struggling with the blue is because all of the blue is down the bottom. So my two before and after photos from my haircut are quite blue. I just printed those on my little Instax printer, and as you can see, the print quality isn't great. They're sort of highly exposed, so they're not great, but the most color you see from them is blue, and then there's the sky in my skyline photo that's blue as well. So everything at the top seems to be pink and everything at the bottom seems to be blue. So that's the issue that I'm having, and so what I'm going to do is sort of try to balance that out with some of these die cuts. Now, like normal, there's a million die cuts in these kits, so I have already, before I started filming, gone through and just picked out some that I thought might be relevant, or the ones that I liked the most, and just popped them in this little dish here so that I don't have to continue to go through a million different die cuts, because I do find when I have too much choice, like I do at the moment, it tends to sort of stifle me, like I get really second guessy about all my decisions. So it's easier for me if I just narrow down the selection to a few. So you can see here I've added a few. I knew I wanted to use that magic die cut down the bottom, because it does help to hide some of the blackness down there, but also because that really was magic. We went for a drive to see Christmas lights actually, and didn't see many Christmas lights, and decided just to carry on driving, and we found a road that we've never been down before. It was a little bit spooky. It was completely dark, no street lights, but then it opened up to this magical view of the city. So I was very keen to stop and take some photos. I'm glad I had my camera with me. Now, apart from the die cuts, there are these chipboard stickers in this kit, and they've got the most fantastic gold foiling on them. So I was desperate to use those, but also trying not to go too overboard with them. So I've just picked out 3, and I'm going to run them sort of up on a diagonal on my spread, again just to add a little bit of consistency to things. Now, I had originally on the bottom right hand corner had a little pink tab, but it kind of got lost on the blue, so there was this other change in progress die cut, which I thought seemed really appropriate for the photos, so I've stuck that under one of my photos there. And again, this is the third swap out now, I think, if I'm counting correctly. I'm going to attempt to use these stamps to create a journaling card. And it doesn't work out exactly how I hoped it would. I couldn't work out how I was going to measure how to do this. So what I wanted to do was to add the arrow stamp that is in the stamp set from the kit, and then add my journaling around it. But of course I didn't know how much journaling I was going to have, and I also didn't know how big the stamp was going to be, so that becomes a little bit of an issue. While I was deciding how I was going to work that out, I decided just to stick down all these little die cuts since they required very little brain power. I'm just creating, they're either singles or little clusters with the die cut and the gold chipboard piece, which you can see the shine on that. It's so beautiful. I love them. And then this one I'm just trimming a little bit off the edge there, and you can see I used a blue one specifically to try and pull a little bit of that blue up to the top of the page. And even though it's only a tiny little bit, I think it really does help to balance it a little bit. So that's my last little cluster there, and I've really only got my title card and my journaling card to work on. So I decided the best way, and it definitely wasn't the best way, but I'm going to just go with it. I drew a little pencil mark to see how wide my arrow stamp was, and then just started typing. I took the stamp over to the typewriter with me and was just kind of eyeballing where things go. But as you'll see, I definitely did not leave myself enough room for the arrow stamp. It goes over the journaling completely. But I had picked out this very, very pale blue to match the blue card down the bottom. So you can still see the journaling. I decided just to carry on with this card and see how it looked before I decided whether I would try and redo it or not. And I'm just adding the darker blue this on each of those arrows. And luckily they do fit in between the journaling. So this card isn't exactly how I pictured it, but I still kind of like it. It's messy, but it brings that blue up a little bit, which was what I was aiming for. So I decided I couldn't think of a better way to do it, apart from maybe doing it digitally, but I didn't really want to do that. I just wanted to get it done. As you can see, week 50, I'm very near the end, so I just wanted to get it done. So I decided to embrace the imperfection and just leave it as is. So as far as my title card goes, I'm going to do exactly like what I said in my unboxing video, and I'm just going to add my week title there. I had wondered about adding this gold foil circle because I loved it. Like I say, I'm obsessed with this gold foil, but I didn't love all the circles up the top. So again, it's that sort of unbalanced thing. I've got all the blue down the bottom and I didn't want all the circles up the top. So you can see here, this is where the second guessing starts to come in. I'm deciding, maybe I don't want the pink at the top. Maybe it's too pink, or maybe I didn't love the two circles, but actually I loved that title card. I really wanted to keep it. So as much as I think there might be a better option for this page, I'm just going to leave it as is. Although you will see I did forget to add my date stamping, so I've just popped that into the photos here. At this time of year, I really just am trying to get this done so I can start my 2019 album, and this Life Crafted kit just made it so easy. I will leave the link for you down below in the description box. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye guys.